The unemployment rate declined in February, but overall job growth was weak, very weak, after January's growth was unexpectedly strong. Hello, this is Bruce Steinberg of SteinbergEmploymentResearch.com, reviewing February 2019 U.S. employment trends and developments. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.8% in February from January's 4.0%, which could have been affected by federal workers misclassifying themselves during the shutdown. The size of the labor force declined by 45,000 as the number of employed persons increased by 255,000, while there were 300,000 fewer unemployed persons. In addition, there are almost 200,000 more persons considered as not in the labor force in February. But the labor force participation rate as well as the employment to population ratio were both unchanged in February at 63.2% and 60.7% respectively from January. A year ago, in February 2018, both were slightly lower. However, the big news was on the other side of the monthly employment situation, with the number of non-farm jobs increasing by only 20,000 in February, which was a big shock considering January's growth was 311,000, as well as from the job growth a year ago of 330,000 in February 2018. The private goods producing sector was down 32,000 jobs in February, and that was a big change from the 81,000 increase in January. A year ago, in February 2018, it was up 111,000. Manufacturing was up 4,000 in February, and that was off January's growth of 21,000. A year ago, in February 2018, manufacturing was up 31,000. As mentioned earlier, the construction sector discarded 31,000 jobs in February after adding 53,000 in January. A year ago, in February 2018, it added 73,000 jobs. And in mining and logging was down 5,000 jobs in February after adding 7,000 in January. A year ago, in February 2018, it was also up 7,000. The private service providing sector increased by only 57,000 jobs in February, which was a disappointment from January's increase of 227,000. A year ago, in February 2018, it increased by 193,000 jobs. The retail trade sector declined by 6,100 jobs in February after adding almost 14,000 in January. A year ago, in February 2018, it was up almost 24,000 jobs. The professional and business services sector experienced growth of 42,000 jobs in February, and that was a big improvement from the 15,000 increase in January. A year ago, in February 2018, it was up 44,000. The education and health services sector added only 4,000 jobs in February, mainly because the private educational services declined by almost 19,000 jobs. But job growth was weak in healthcare and social services as well, with growth of only 22,500 jobs. Hiring in home healthcare services continued with an increase of 4,700 jobs in February that followed a 5,400 job increase in January. The leisure and hospitality sector was flat in February after adding almost 90,000 jobs in January. And the total number of government jobs was down 5,000 in February. The federal government was flat, state government was down 1,000, and local government was down 4,000, but that can be attributed to the 4,400 job decline in local government education jobs. The 5,800 job increase for temporary help services in February can be traced to the previous reported anemic growth in January of only 1,000, but that was revised to a decline of 11,500 jobs in this month's jobs report. The total number of temporary jobs in February was 3,054,100, and that works out to a 0.2% sequential gain from January and a 2.2% increase from February 2018. In February, temporary help services market share of all jobs was 2.0279%, which is up from January's 2.0243%. A year ago, in February 2018, it was 2.0170%, and 2 years ago, in February 2017, it was just under 2% at 1.9902%. Although the construction sector took a major hit in February, the overall poor performance in February was more due to just wimpy growth and not because of any tremendous overwhelming declines in many sectors. This has been Bruce Steinberg, and this is just a brief sample of the employment data and analysis we provide.